Students, welcome to lecture 4 of module 1. In this lecture, we will study about managerial ethics and social responsibility. This topic is not technical in nature and it does not contain any direct information related to food service institutions but has a direct impact on the functioning and business of these institutions. The word ethics comes from the Greek word ethos. The original meaning of the word ethos means habitual residence, the place where man lives. The name of ethics comes from Aristotle, who described it as the doctrine of morality, but at the same time also linked it closely with the concept of moral character and virtuous living. Ethics deals with moral philosophy, moral values, and behaviors that make society function. It indicates a condition that expresses act in accordance with reason and mindset. Business ethics refers to the moral compass that guides decision making in professional setting. According to Farrell and Frederick, ethical behavior in business is not determined solely by company policies but also by societal expectations and individual values. For example, a business may follow the law but still be seen as unethical if the public perceives its actions as harmful, such as misleading advertisements. Media plays a powerful role in shaping public perception by highlighting unethical practices, while interest groups put pressure on organizations to adopt fair and responsible policies. Ultimately, the combination of public scrutiny, organizational culture, and individual integrity determines whether business conducted is viewed as right or wrong. Business ethics in the behavior of businessmen while conducting a business by observing morality in business activities. It is an art of maintaining harmonious relationship with society, its various groups and institutions, as well as recognizing the moral responsibility for the business conducted. If a custom is adopted and accepted by businessmen and public, that custom will become an ethics. According to T.M. Garrett, business ethics is primarily concerned with the relationship of business goals and techniques for achieving human ends. Then, beneficiaries. They are simply the groups of people who have an interest in or are affected by the food service sector. First ones are consumers, the people who buy and eat food. They care about their health and wellness. They also want safe food, fair prices, and assurance that there is enough food available, that is, food security. In addition, many consumers expect fairness and equality in how food services treat people. Second ones are companies, businesses, small scale producers, and processors. They include restaurant, caterers, and even small vendors. Their focus is on food quality and safety, so customers keep coming back. They also need cost efficiency to maintain profitable and sustainable business. Third is government or regulators. This group sets the rules and policies. Their role is to ensure that the food being served is safe, nutritious, and contributes to public health. They regulate hygiene standards, labeling, and fair prices so that the public is protected. Then comes society and NGOs. Their role is to push for sustainable food production and consumption, meaning food is produced without harming the environment or developing resources. They also work to ensure that the food supply chain is ethical. For example, no child labor or unfair wage practices should be the part of food supply chain. The fifth group of beneficiaries are international organizations like WHO, FAO, or the Food World programs. They set global safety measures to countries maintaining high standards. They promote animal welfare, human rights, and social justice, making sure food production is fair and humane. They also work towards global food security so that every nation has enough safe food while protecting the environment. Lastly, they focus on consumer rights and transparency, ensuring people know what it's there in food and how it's made. Then, managerial ethics are principles and values guiding managers to decide what is right or wrong in business and is related to social responsiveness of a firm along with moral duty and obligation. It is a standard behavior that guides individual managers in their work. The principles of managerial ethics are honesty, fairness, respect, and accountability. An honest manager must share accurate and truthful information with employees, customers, and other stakeholders. Hiding facts damages trust. Decisions should be free from favoritism, discrimination, or unfair treatment. Everyone should get equal opportunity and fair consideration. Managers should think about how their actions affect employees, customers, suppliers, and community, and treat everyone with dignity. Whereas an accountable and a responsible manager accepts the outcomes of their decisions, whether good or bad, instead of shifting blame. Many researchers have emphasized on these ethical activities performed by managers. One, the foremost goal of manager is to make their organization effective. Two, profit maximization and stakeholders' interest is not the central goal of the manager. 3. Attending to customers is important. 4. Integrity is the characteristic most highly rated by managers at all levels, but the pressure to perform to organizational standards was also quite high. Spouses are important in helping their mates grapple with ethical dilemmas. And 7. Most managers seek the advice of others in handling ethical dilemmas. What is the importance of managerial ethics for any institution? As people will follow what leaders do. Even if a company has ethics policies in place, when top leaders ignore these standards, it resonates throughout the company. It might mean that some employees might not act ethically if they are following the actions of leaders. It could also reduce employee pride and morale. When employees don't think that the leaders care about doing the right thing, they might feel that their efforts do not do the right value. The employee morale drops through turnover. Though turnover increases, human resources cost go up and customer loyalty and positive experiences suffer. Managerial ethics is about doing what's honest, fair, and respectful in the workplace, even when there's pressure to cut corners. There are three types of managerial ethics: immoral management, moral management, and amoral management. Immoral management is when a manager knows the right thing to do about deliberately chooses the wrong path and personal or company gain. For example, exploiting workers or lying in advertising. Moral management is when manager chooses fairness, justice and concern for all stakeholders, even if it means making less money. Amoral management lies between moral and immoral management ethics. It is when a manager doesn't really think about ethics at all. Decisions are made only to follow the law and maximize profit. There are two types of amoral management. One, intentional, where managers deliberately avoid ethical practices in business decisions because they think ethics should be followed in non business activities. Two, unintentional, where managers do not deliberately avoid ethical practices but unintentionally they make decisions whose moral implications are not taken into consideration. Now we come to approaches. There are three approaches to management ethics: utilitarian approach, moral right approach, and social justice approach. The first one is utilitarian approach, in which managers analyzes the effects of their decisions on people. The action rather than motive behind the action is the focus of this approach. Positive and negative results are weighed and managerial actions are justified. If positive effects outweigh the negative effects, pollutions standards and analyzing the impact of pollution on society in management ethics code is an example of utilitarian approach. The second one is moral rights approach. In this, managers follow ethical code which takes care of fundamental and moral rights of human beings like the right to speech, right to life and safety, right to express feelings, etc. For example, in the context of profit oriented organizations, managers disclose information in reports that are for people concerned. The nature, timing, and validity of information is taken into account for service oriented food institutions. The third one is social justice approach. According to this approach, managers' actions are fair, impartial, and equitable to all individuals and groups. Employees are not distinguished on the basis of caste, religion, race, or gender, though distinction on the basis of abilities or production is justified. For example, all employees, male or female, with same skills should be treated at par, but it is justified to treat employees who perform better differently from those whose contribution is less. Then there are three organizational barriers of management ethics: chain of command, group membership, and ambiguous priorities. If employees know that superiors are not following ethical behavior, they hesitate in reporting the matter for the fear of being misunderstood and penalized. Second, a group membership. Informal groups members are strongly bonded by loyalty and respect for each other, and unethical behavior of any one member of the group is generally ignored by the rest. Third is ambiguous priorities. When policies are unclear and ambiguous, employees' behavior cannot be guided in a unified direction. It is difficult to understand what is ethical and what is unethical. Now, these measures can contribute in improving the climate for ethical behavior. One, organizational objectives and policies should be clear so that every member works towards these goals ethically. 2. The behavior of top managers is followed by others in the organization. Ethical actions of top managers promote ethical behavior throughout the organization. 3. Imposing penalties and treats for not conforming to ethical behavior can reduce unethical service activities in the organizations. Formal procedures of lodging complaints help subordinates support unethical behavior of superiors to the concerned committee. 4. Educational institutions also offer courses and training in business ethics to develop conscientious managers who observe ethical behavior, and that is why this lecture is a part of your course. Next, social responsibility. It refers to the ethical obligation of businesses to contribute positively to society while pursuing profitability. It emphasizes the need for organizations to go beyond financial gains and actively work towards the betterment of community and environment. This includes initiatives such as environmental protection, sustainable resource use, ethical labor practices, community development programs, and promotion of fair trade. By recognizing their roles as an integral or part of larger community, businesses acknowledge their influence on economy, the environment, and people's overall well-being. Practicing social responsibility not only fosters trust and goodwill but also ensures long-term sustainability and a positive societal impact. Social responsibility model. Carroll gave 4 layers of social responsibility model known as CSR model, that is corporate social responsibility model. It includes 1. Economics, 2. Legal, 3. Ethical, and 4th. Philanthropic layers in a form of a pyramid. This model is applied to all kinds of enterprising units. Let's discuss them. Economic responsibility is the foundation of the pyramid because a business cannot fulfill any other responsibility without first being financially stable. Profitability is essential as an establishment must make enough profit to survive, grow, and invest in the future. It supports employees and society as profits allow businesses to pay wages, benefits, and taxes that help the wider community. It meets consumer needs by producing goods and services that people genuinely need and want, and selling them at a fair, affordable price builds customer trust. Continuous innovation, cost efficiency, and quality help the business remain strong in the market. Legal responsibility of CSR model means a business must follow all laws and regulations while operating. It ensures that actions are fair, safe, and respectful to stakeholders. It allows the business to operate within the law, ensuring that all activities comply with national and international legal standards. They help follow specific regulations which includes labor laws such as fair wages, safe working conditions, environmental laws such as pollution control, waste management, consumer protection laws like truthful advertising, safe products, and trade laws such as fair imports and export practices. It ensures fairness and safety as legal compliance protects employees, customers, the environment, and the community from harm or exploitation. It maintains credibility by adhering to the law and for a positive public image. Ethical responsibility in this model means a business should do the right thing even when it's not legally required. It's about meeting moral standards and earning trust from society. Beyond legal compliance, ethics asks managers to consider fairness, honesty, and integrity in all decisions. It avoids unethical practices such as avoiding false and misleading advertisements, exploitative pricing, or taking advantage of vulnerable customers. It protects employees' well being by providing safe, healthy, and respectful working conditions. Even if laws in some regions are less strict, it ensures responsible sourcing so as to obtain raw materials in a way that respects human rights, animal welfare, and environmental sustainability. It helps meet society's moral expectations of businesses to act with empathy, fairness, and responsibility towards all stakeholders. Philanthropic responsibility is the voluntary part of CSR model where businesses go beyond what is required by law or ethics to actively give back to society. It reflects an organization's goodwill and desire to improve community well-being. It is voluntary in nature, as unlike economic, legal, or ethical responsibilities, philanthropy is not mandatory. It's done out of genuine desire to help. It includes charitable donations and responsible things such as funding NGOs, sponsoring events, or providing resources for social causes. Thus, managerial ethics and principles are and values guiding managers to decide what is right or wrong in business, while social responsibility is a duty to protect society's welfare or achieving business goals. Together, these two ensure fairness, sustainability, and respect for all beneficiaries. You can think of ethics as your moral compass, that is, what is right and wrong, and social responsibility as the action you take to benefit society while still running a successful business. When both work together, organizations gain trust and create long term value. So, ethics are moral principles and values that guide behavior and core beliefs, whereas social responsibility is the commitment to act in ways that benefit society. Ethics is the foundation, as without strong ethical values, institutional social responsibility loses its authenticity and uh, just become PR stunt. It is essential for long-term success as enterprises that follow strong ethics and social responsibility are more likely to survive and thrive over time, builds trust and credibility so that customers, employees, and investors trust organizations that constantly act fairly and responsibly, meets market and societal expectations as modern consumers and communities expect the institutions to care about people, fairness, and sustainability. It is a key in today's competitive, social aware world, as in a market where reputation spreads quickly. Acting ethically can be a major advantage over competitors. Reputation is one of its biggest assets. When a business acts ethically and fulfills its social responsibilities, it builds public trust. This trust makes customers more loyal and willing to stick, even if competitors offer similar menus. It also attracts investors as people are more likely to invest in organizations with a positive image. Acting ethically helps ensure legality. A positive ethical culture creates a happier, more committed workforce. Long-term success comes from balancing profit making and societal and environmental care. It helps in building strong community relationships, encourage customer loyalty, and ensures that resources are used wisely. This leads to environmental sustainability and economic stability. Ethical actions may reduce immediate profits at time, making the right choice isn't the cheapest one. For example, eco-friendly sourcing cost more, and fair wages and safe conditions may rise production costs. But short-term loss can lead to long-term trust and loyalty as ethical practices build brand reputation. There is pressure to cut cost or skip CSR efforts to save money. Managers must satisfy financial goals without compromising integrity. A practice acceptable in one culture may be unethical in another. It requires cultural sensitivity and adaptability to avoid misunderstandings and maintain goodwill. Gray areas force managers to use personal judgment. Here comes the role of managerial ethics in decision making. These are the guidelines as prescribed by James O. Toole for ethical behavior. 1. Obey the law as obeying legal practices of a country is conforming to ethical values. 2. Tell the truth as disclosing fair accounting and telling the truth is ethical behavior of managers. 3. Respect for people as ethics requires managers to respect people who are in their contact. 4. The golden rule of treat others as you would want to be treated. Above all, do not harm as often law does not prohibit use of some ingredients in production of some products. Managers should avoid them if they are environment pollutants. Practice participation by involving the stakeholders in the decision making processes. And 7. Do not act when you have responsibility for the benefit of the organization and the stakeholders. Thank you, students. All that has been discussed in today's lecture is must for anybody who wish to be a part of food industry. Individuals engaged in food service management should keep focus on practicing ethics and social responsibilities. We will discuss about marketing mix and promotion in food service industry in the next lecture.